Hey, this is Barry coming to you again from the Bears Den. It's been a rough week. Our hearts and our prayers go out with those who are affected by the floods in Central Texas. And we're praying for those who are in the rescue efforts too. Last week I challenged you to work on your thought process. Renew your mind, to make your mind holy, to make your thoughts holy. And I wonder how that went this week. I know as I was preparing for July 4th, I was rocking and rolling and doing a good job and reframing thoughts and catching thoughts that came in that weren't appropriate or godly or weren't good for people and reframing them. And then all of a sudden, the end of the week hit, and I don't know if I got tired or I just thought I needed to be funny again or what happened. But what I realized was my thought process was going back to the old ways. And then all the tragedy happened on July 4th down in Central Texas, and my son happened to be down there for the weekend. And so we were looking out for him, and I got completely distracted from what it meant to change my thought process. It was like I'd put what God was wanting to do in my life, and I'd put it on the back burner of my life. You ever do that? You ever get caught up in life so much and so fast, things start happening so fast, that you kind of put God back on the back burner? You know, I'm glad for grace, and I'm glad that God's willing to forgive me and let me start anew each and every day. Paul says in Romans 12:2 that we should continue, and I love that word he uses, continue to build ourselves up in the Spirit of Christ by renewing our mind, our thought process. Renew. Do you know what that means? That means to make it new every day. Renew. When you catch a bad thought go in, or you want to be critical of somebody, or you want to do something that's not holy, renew your mind. Train your mind to a new habit. Did you know it takes 66 days? I did the research. It takes 66 days to form a new habit. One of my favorite country artists is Hank Williams Jr. I grew up loving Bocephus. He has an old song that says, "Old habits like you are so hard to break." You know, trying to be funny and being critical and just because I want people to laugh, that's an old habit and it's hard to break. But you know what? I'm giving 66 days to it, to form a new habit, to train new thoughts, to look at people as holy creatures of God on first instinct, not to be critical of what they're wearing or what their hair looks like or what they're doing or what they're saying, because I've heard some people say some crazy things this week. And I had to really check my thought process. Will you join me in the journey? Will you try to break that old habit? Are you willing to give yourself 66 days of renewing your mind so that we can be more Christ-like with one another? I hope you will. If you're having any struggles or just want to say anything, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I just want to remind you of one thing and one thing only. In this whole journey, we're never going to be perfect, but God loves us anyway. God created us and God loves us. So remember, God loves you, I love you, and have a great week. Be blessed.